running mate Rigathi Gachagua. Let's listen to this.
The truth of the matter is that the role of President Uhuru Kenyatta in Azimio is to craft his own succession, to continue governing Kenya through proxy, through Raila Odinga and Martha Karori.
It is important to be truthful in this debate. President Kenyatta has not publicly or privately assigned me any role. I'm sure he knows that he cannot assign any role to a minister in an administration he does not have.
That is just an excerpt at the beginning of that debate, and the UDA, or the Kenya Kwanza running mate Rigathi Gachagua, was accused of having too much Uhuru Kenyatta in that debate. There are other pundits who say that that is a strategy. It is a talking point, an important one. Before we get into that, very quickly, how do you think each of the two candidates performed in the debates?
Thank you, Ben. I think first of all, I was happy. Every time we make such a progressive steps in this democracy, we need to be happy and just feel that the country is moving in the right direction, that we can sit down, have issues, come and just say this is our nation. Right. I think it is a feel-good moment for the nation. But secondly, in terms of performance, I think Rigathi Gachagua came there as an underdog, and he did exceedingly well. Martha Karori might have tried, but you have to understand from the point she was speaking. She was in between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. She can't go hard on the current administration. Uhuru Kenyatta is the chairman of Azimio.
Right.
She can't also speak. So we didn't see the vintage Martha Karori. And I think it's because of the stage. The stage has been elevated to another level.
All right, okay.
So it needs a lot of pruning. But at the end of the day, they did well.
All right.
And, but if it was a score, all will be at A, but there will be an 83 and the A of 80. So I think Martha Karori.
So the quality was high, according to you?
Yeah, the quality of the debate was good. But also, there is something that we must give a pat on the back of the media. They tried from the gubernatorial one to where we are. At least, although we just dealt on one issue, corruption, we still have an opportunity to improve.
Mahesh, does there has to be a winner and a loser in these debates, and who do you think won this deputy presidency?
There absolutely has to be no winner and no loser in debates. I think presidential debates or any kind of elective position debates, like journalists, like lawyers, is for the to try and establish the truth and the veracity of issues. But most importantly, what I want to say is that my impressions of the debate were that it's the first time I think I'd ever heard Rigathi Gachagua addressing a podium, that kind of a podium. And yes, he was articulate, but then I remembered he was a public servant. He had been the personal assistant to Uhuru Kenyatta, so that was not very surprising. In the sense that, was Martha vintage Martha? Yes, Martha was vintage Martha, and why I want to say Martha was vintage Martha was because she articulated the issues, and I got the sense that from the debate, because with all due respect to the deputy presidential candidate for UDA, his delivery, he was, they all turned out very well. They were very well groomed. Their body language was excellent. But it sounded like he was in a divorce. He was in a trauma of a divorce with Uhuru Kenyatta, because it was Uhuru, 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 Uhuru. And I didn't know if that was the strategy to make Uhuru the centerpiece, His Excellency, the President, the center of that debate, and derail everything so that the Azimio candidate cannot articulate their issues, or if it was really an emotive, where he was coming from an emotive angle. So Martha was very consistent, the incoming deputy president. She was consistent. She was very measured, and I applaud her for that, and didn't get dragged into what I saw may have been some kind of strategy to derail the debate.
All right. Danson, what was your initial reaction to that debate? Was it vintage Martha from where you sit?
Well, what I saw, thanks for NTV for allowing me this chance, it's a disappointment and applause. Disappointment in that very few Kenyans followed the debate. It was majorly in English. Kiswahili was not used.
Right.
I hope those ones who are going to do the next presidential debate factor in that half of the debate should be in Kiswahili and half of the debate should be in English to allow citizens to get what is happening.
Okay.
That is the disappointment that I had, but the organizers will deal with that. Number two, I applaud the debate on three grounds. One, for the first time, the question of gender, the female gender, came out very strong. For the first time since multi-party democracy, this is when we had 3 deputy running presidential candidates on a debate. That was fantastic. We are maturing on the question of bringing the gender question to our leadership. Number two, the element that Kenyans tolerated the debate, wherever they were seated.
Right.
The UDA guys were there. The Azimio people were there in bars, in stadiums and everywhere. We have not had anybody commit suicide. We never had in the morning anybody saying there was a fight. The debates were conducted and citizens listened. They picked their votes and went home, and they're waiting for Tuesday. That is a big congratulation to the citizens of this country. Third, we saw issues coming out that have never been clear. The presidential wing of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio have been sloganeering at the political rallies.
Right.
This was the first dissection of their manifestos in bit by bit, where people are asking and probing. Remember, in political rallies, it is the politicians who address. And the campaign strategies that they address in 5 minutes and go to other political rallies because they have got to cover 20, 30 rallies in a day. For this one, it was a proper post-mortem of what the manifestos are saying. Lastly,
so,
I think you should have a timekeeper.
The media,
even here,
like
right?
for the
even
debates,
here, the media did a fantastic job.
Well, thank